So you want to play heavy in Highlander, huh? Well great, it's a lot of fun, and in this video, I'll be going over the basics of playing heavy in Highlander. I'll be talking about loadouts, how to work with your teammates, communication, and how you can practice. Now I assume you probably know what Highlander is if you're watching this, but if you don't, check out comp.tf to get a better idea of competitive TF2 in general. I'm not going to put a ton of detail into this video only because you want to be able to develop your own playstyle. You don't just want to do everything that you see someone else do in a video because then you would just become a robot. And then you'd be playing man versus machine. As a robot. That's the So let's start off by talking about weapons, and this one's easy. Minigun, sandwich, and either the Fist of Steel or the Gloves of Running Urgently. The regular minigun you want because it's stock, it's easy to use, it's reliable, and frankly the upsides of the other miniguns in competitive are gimmicky at worst and situational at best. Stick with stock here. The sandwich is another standard. While the shotgun is great for getting damage out while you're moving, it's just not as good as having a throwable medium health pack every 30 seconds and a full health boost for yourself if you're nowhere near a health pack and your medic is dead or busy. You can use it strategically when your teammates are hurt, especially your medic, and you can even restore your sandwich by picking up any health pack when you're fully healed. Use this to provide an extra health pack in areas where your team is holding. Remember that health packs on the map respawn in 10 seconds, and a dropped sandwich takes 30 seconds to disappear. This means that your team will have an extra health pack for 20 seconds. Pretty nice deal, huh? For melee, you either want to use the Fist of Steel or the Gloves of Running Urgently. Choosing one or both is personal preference for the most part, but I prefer the Fist of Steel because it gives you that really nice 40% range damage reduction, whereas the Gloves of Running Urgently makes you take mini crits, which is 35% extra damage. And don't forget that mini crits don't have range fall off, so it's easy to do a lot of damage to you from a distance. If movement speed is important to you, and you really don't like the added weapon switch time that you get with the Fist of Steel, then go with the Gloves of Running Urgently. If you want to be more of a tank, go with the Fist of Steel. There are obviously other weapons I haven't talked about, and if you're curious about why they're usually not as good in competitive, look up some info online. Actually, this post on TF2 Center was pretty informative when it came to detailing weapons, and also other parts of playing heavy. Check it out. So what do you even do as a heavy? Well, your main role is to protect your team and to help put out damage wherever you can. You're the one with a ton of health and a big gun that the rest of the team can revolve around and work together as a unit. The most important thing that you can do for your team, if you start drawing a blank during a game, if you have no idea what you're doing, if you feel like you're drowning in a sea of players, then swim. Stay with your medic. It's a cheesy acronym, but it's true. The heavy is one of the best classes to defend the medic because he's got a ton of health and he can take out nearby enemies really quickly. It's like he's built to be a bodyguard. Keep your medic alive and healthy with your sandwich so he can then keep you and the rest of your team alive and fighting. In Highlander, the heavy and the medic are part of what's called the combo, which also includes the demo and the pyro. While your medic is your priority to protect, try to keep the rest of your combo safe as well. Take advantage of your close range effectiveness to deal with anything that gets inside your combo's personal space, like spies, scouts, and soldiers falling from the sky. Remember that a lot of the time those threats will get behind you, not just spies, so make sure that you've literally got your team's back. If you're sure that your combo is safe from behind for the time being, you can shift gears a bit and help your team to do damage. Just make sure that you're always in a position where you're able to shift back and protect them the moment they need you. Communication is what makes competitive competitive. If you've played Highlander without anyone talking during the game, you're pretty much playing a pub and you're not going to get very far. Communication is really important to playing heavy because there's just not a lot that you can do without the support of your teammates. Even defending your team and watching their back can be extremely difficult if your team's not in the loop. For example, even though you may be able to kill spots pretty quickly, it might not be quick enough. If you see one, call them out to your teammates so they can turn around and avoid getting backstabbed. Call out the jumping soldier so that your pyro can air blast him away. Call that their medic just popped Uber so that your team can get out of the way and stay alive. So the tricky part about all this is that you're not the only one who's calling. Comms can get cluttered really easily, so just make sure that you only call what your team really needs to know, like the examples that I was just talking about. So how do you practice all this stuff? You may have noticed there are some topics I haven't really talked about in this video, like tracking, and that's because tracking is a really simple concept. I also haven't talked much about more specific topics like positioning, game sense, and main calling, because those are more advanced, and if you're just starting out, you're probably not going to even know how to apply any of those things anyway. They come in time though as you gain experience, and that's really the key. Start out slow and make sure you have the basics down pat. Head on over to TF2 Center, open up Mumble, and just play. Practice communicating, practice playing with your team, and as you play, you'll figure out what you need to improve on. Maybe you keep dying to backstabs or headshots. Maybe your medic keeps dying and there's something you can do to protect him better. Maybe you're always wondering why you're never with your team during pushes. These are all natural issues and they can be sorted out with practice. Work with your teammates, keep your role as a heavy in mind, and you'll get really good really quickly. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've got any questions about anything that I've talked about in this video, leave it down in the comments and we can discuss it there. If you're just getting started out as a heavy in competitive TF2, I wish you the best of luck as you get started. Trust me, it's a lot more fun to play than it looks in videos. I know that to be true, but maybe I'm just crazy, I don't know. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.